myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is your nanoscience and technology. What you will be studying here, we have introduction to nano terms, okay, like nanoscience, nanotechnology, nanomaterials, nanostructure. Then we have definition. Then you will be studying about the history of nanotechnology, and then effect or application of nanoscience in different fields, right? So first of all, what is nano? Okay, it is 1 billionth of any number. Clear? It is 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So that small dimension, that is your nanoscale. Okay. So now what is nanoscience and nanotechnology? So first of all, your nanoscience. See, it is the fundamental principle, okay? It is study of fundamental principles of the molecules and structure which has at least one dimension between 1 to 100 nanometer range, okay? If any of the one dimension is between your 1 to 100 nanometer, so that material is included in your nanomaterial, and the study of the fundamental principles of those molecules, okay, at molecular level, that is your nanoscience, okay. Now what is nanotechnology? So your nanotechnology, it is application of these nanostructures into making of useful nanoscale devices, okay. So your very important thing to note down that your nanotechnology, it is not a single technology or scientific discipline, okay. Your nanotechnology, it is a multidisciplinary, okay, which is having a grouping of physical, chemical, biological, engineering, electronic, process, material, applications, okay. At this various range, in this various discipline, when you are using the concepts of nanoscience, okay, so that is your nanotechnology. It can have like nanoelectronics, that is a part of nanotechnology, like, right. Then you have nanomaterials, when you nanofabricate, all those disciplines, they are included in nanotechnology. So very important thing to note down that it is not a single discipline, okay, it is a group of multiple disciplines at which you are applying nanoscale concepts, right? Now talking about the definition, so write down the definition. First is your nanotechnology, it is the creation of functional materials, devices or system, okay, through control of matter on nanometer length scale, exploiting their novel properties. Your properties can be physical, chemical and biological. So what you are doing, you are developing certain devices, materials by exploiting the properties at nano level scale. Okay, those properties like physical, chemical and biological, so that is your nanotechnology. You can also define it as, it is the engineering of functional systems at molecular scale level. Okay, at molecular level you are engineering devices. So that is your nanotechnology. It refers to the projected ability to construct items from bottom-up approach using techniques and tools being developed today to make complete highly advanced product. Okay, so we will study what is your bottom-up approach, top-up approach. Okay, so you are constructing certain items. So that is your nanotechnology. Now some important notes of nanotechnology. So the term nano, okay, the prefix nano, it was given by your physicist Richard Feynman, okay. So where he imagined that your entire Encyclopedia Britannica, it can be written on the head of a small needle. So you can see at such a molecular level we are talking about this technology. So at that time he termed that word nano, okay. So now what is nano? The prefix nano means 1 billionth, okay. We are talking about a 1 billionth part of anything. So your 1 nanometer, see now when I am talking about nanometer, it is in a scale level I am talking, okay. So 1 nanometer, meter is what? It is the unit of dimension, length, okay. So it is 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So your 1 nanometer, that is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So to get a sense of nanoscale, so see your human hair, it is visible from naked eye, and its dimension is about 50,000 nanometers. Okay, so this way I am representing my dimension of hair in terms of nanometer. Clear? So now what is the relationship between nanoscience and nanotechnology? Okay, the subject name is what? Nanoscience and nanotechnology. So nanoscience, it is at its simplest the study of fundamental principles of molecules and structure which has dimension, at least one dimension between 1 to 100 nanometer. So you are studying the fundamental principles of molecules and structure. For example, like covalent bond, van der Waals force of attraction. Okay, so these are what fundamental principle at molecular level. Similarly, when we are talking about magnetic property, okay, so that you will be studying in further lecture. Then similarly, when we are talking about electrical properties, we have band gap. Okay, so these are certain fundamental principles at molecular level. So you are going to study those fundamental principles and you are going to modify it by varying the size of your component. Okay, so that is your nanoscience. Now what is nanotechnology? It utilizes the possibility to vary these fundamental properties of material without changing their chemical composition. Highlight here that you are not changing the chemical composition. What you are doing, you are exploiting those fundamental properties when you are changing the size. Okay, like a very simple example, we know that your metal, it is ductile in nature, but as you are reducing its size, you will see further in example, as you are reducing its size, what happens at nanoscale level, it is possible that its property has been totally changed. It do not exhibits the original properties of a metal. Okay, so this way your property is going to vary at molecular level. Clear? Now once again note down these notes. So what you are doing, you are using these techniques, okay, in preparation, characterization, and use the properties of nanomaterials in different application. So that collectively is known as nanotechnology. So you can see here now, if you have to study, if you have to see those dimensions, so the human eye, okay, the naked human eye, it can view up to 100 micrometer. Okay, your human hair, it is 100 micrometer dimension it is. Now, when you are using optical microscope, you can see up to 1 micrometer, the virus, bacteria. But for nanometer range, you need an electron microscope. So that is a very powerful microscope. Again, in characterization chapter, you will be studying about these. So again, note it down, the quantum mechanical properties of electron. Okay, now see, I am discussing about the properties at molecular level. So the quantum mechanical properties of electron inside the matter are influenced by variation on nanoscale. So in GIST at nanoscale level, these quantum properties are varying. So by nanoscale design of material, it is possible to vary their micro and macroscopic properties such as charge capacity, magnetization, melting temperature. Okay, so you can vary those properties when you are varying the size. Okay, when you are going further, when you are further reducing the size to nano level. Now, so nanoscale components, they have very high surface to volume ratio. So we have a new term, okay, when we will be studying about the properties. The very important property is surface to volume ratio. Okay, thus as it is having very high surface to volume ratio, it is ideal to be used in composite materials in a reaction system. As a chemical engineer, we are interested in any reacting system, right? For drug delivery, energy storage, etc. So once again, how you can define it? It is creation and manipulation of material at nano level. Okay, you are creating and manipulating its property. So once again, it is not a single technology or scientific discipline. Clear? Now, how nanoscale affects the design of material? Once again, I am repeating it. Your quantum properties are changing at nano level, right? So now, how nanoscale affects your design of material? So what we are going to deal? So physical properties which are changing at nano level. So you can see here, The certain physical properties are like melting point can be changed. When you have to change the chemical properties, those include reactivity. Okay, as we discussed, as like surface to volume ratio increases, thus it is making it ideal in a reaction system. Catalyst, what is the use of catalyst? What you studied till now, that as you reduce the size of catalyst, its reactivity increases. Okay, the same is the thing at for nanoscale level. The electrical properties that can be enhanced, that is your conductivity. For mechanical properties like strength can be enhanced, you are disturbing the properties of strength, right? Then optical properties like light emission. So these are the certain properties which get affected at nanoscale level. So now the next topic is our history of nanotechnology. Okay, so we saw that the term nano was introduced by Richard Feynman, but your application of this technology, it dates back to 4th century, okay, more than 4th century. So we can see the best example is that Lycurgus cup. Okay, so this is the best example describing you the optical properties of your nanoparticles. Okay, so this cup, it is green when it is illuminated in front. Okay, when you are illuminating it in from the front, when you are subjecting light from the front of this cup, it appears to be green. But when it is illuminated from the back, okay, when the source of light is at the back of this cup, it appears to be red. So you can see these are what the optical properties. So what kind of nanoparticles are embedded here? So you are seeing gold and silver nanoparticles have been embedded in this cup. So the size of those gold and silver nanoparticles are between 50 to 100 nanoparticles. So you can see how gold is what? We have seen the bulk gold. It is shiny in nature. But you have seen here, as its size has been reduced to 50 to 100 nanoparticle, so it is displaying the optical properties like appearing green sometimes and appearing red. Okay. Similarly, you can see another example is the rose window in an European cathedral. When it dates back to 6th century, it has nanoparticles of gold chloride and other metal oxides and chlorides. Okay, so these are the certain nanoparticles which has been used instead of paint. Thus, till now, their color is still prominent. Okay, similarly, you might have seen Ajanta caves. Okay, so the application was what? Of those nanoparticles here. So the red stained glass, it gets its red color because of gold nanoparticles, which has its size of 20 nanometer. So the red color is due to what? Gold nanoparticles of 20 nanometer size. Similarly, the orange glass, if you need to have orange color, so you can see it was found that 80 nanometer size of gold particles were used. So you can see how the color has been changed at nanoscale level. So this shows that its optical properties are changed here. Okay. Another one is the carbon nanotubes. You will study further that carbon nanotubes, it has very high strength as compared to your stainless steel. So the carbon nanotubes and nanowires, they have been used in the construction of Damascus swords. Okay, so which is known for the sharpness, flexibility and durability. So the range, the dating of this sword is between 13th to 18th century. Other than that, if you are talking about Ayurveda, okay, bhasma, you might have in Ayurveda you might have known that gold bhasma is used. So it is used for medicine. Why? Because its property gets enhanced at nanoscale level. Okay. Other than that, if you are talking about the modern history, right? So Feynman has discovered, after his study, it was discovered that properties, basic properties like gravity, okay, then van der Waals force, these microscale level properties become important in nanotechnology, right? Other than that, STM, that is scanning tunneling microscope, it was invented in IBM's lab. Okay, it is specially for characterization of your nanoparticles. Other than that, atomic force microscope was also developed so as to carry out research in nano area, right? So AFM, it is the most advanced tool in nanoscale imaging, measurement and material processing. Okay. Then buckyballs were invented. So you can see a buckyball. It is one of the nanostructure. Okay, it appears like a football. It was developed in 1985. So this buckyball, this nanostructure, it is a carbon nanostructure. Okay, it has almost 60 carbon atoms present in this structure. So these buckyballs, okay, this is a carbon nanostructure. It is stronger than steel, lighter in weight, and have drug delivery application. Other than that, in 1991, carbon nanotubes were developed. Okay, so your carbon nanotubes, it is 100 times stronger than steel for the same weight of steel. For example, 1 kg of your steel and 1 kg of your carbon nanostructure made of nanotubes, right? This 1 kg of carbon nanostructure, it is going to have 100 times strength than steel, right? So this is about the history of your nanotechnology. Now in your date chart, you can see that you can see the date history, how this nanotechnology has been prominent. So in the bottom line, you can see that in 1989, IBM logo were made with individual atoms. So IBM, it has a very good contribution in nanotechnology because they have developed what STM was developed by IBM. So what they did, using single atoms, they created their logo of IBM. So you can see in the bottom image that single atoms have been constructed that way so as to make a IBM logo. So you can see that using the STM, okay, scanning tunneling microscope or AFM, they were able to do this. Other than that, IBM has also made a very small feature film using electrons, okay, using atoms. They have made a very small film. In YouTube, you can see that film made by IBM. Okay, so this is about the history of nanotechnology. That was for today's lecture. Thank you.